All right. Call to order the regular council meeting of Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. This evening, we will be starting this meeting off by recognizing the strength and the resilience of the people of our region. The tragedy faced in our neighboring community of Tumbler Ridge has left all of us heartbroken. But through that heartbreak, we have managed to come together and support each other during this time. Today, teachers, students, and families woke up with heavy hearts and an outpouring of love, strength, and support for Tumbler Ridge. Coming together for our fellow communities and neighbors has never been more important than it is right now. Our hearts are with the families and the community of Tumbler Ridge. And with that, we're going to stand in a moment of silence. In support of our neighboring community of Tumbler Ridge and of the students at the Tumbler Ridge High School, the village of Pooskapee will be turning the lights in the community blue along our main street to support the Kodiaks of Tumbler Ridge. And so if you notice that our lights are blue, that is in support of our neighboring community, our families and their students. Okay. We're going to move on to the adoption of the agenda. I'd like to recommend that Council adopt the February 11th, 2026 regular Council meeting agenda. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Whittle. Discussion regarding tonight's agenda? I'm going to call the question then. All those in favor? And that's unanimous and carried. Item number 4, adoption of the minutes. I'd like to recommend that Council adopts the January 28th, 2026 regular Council meeting minutes as presented. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Johnston. Discussion regarding the minutes? And I call the question. All those in favor? And that's unanimous and carried. Introduction of late items, we have none. Public hearings, we have none. Delegations, we have Mr. David Johnson from the Community Living who's come to present to us this evening. Mr. Johnson, the floor is yours. We have Johnson and Johnston here today.
Hello, my name is David Johnson. I'm here to present an idea of doing a wheelchair challenge in Pooskapee. Part of my job with CLBC, I got hired. Part of my job is to do community projects in the whole Peace region, and I get to travel and do this stuff. And I did the wheelchair challenge in Dawson Creek last year or the year before, and it was successful. And this year that went by, I did a wheelchair challenge in Port John. It was successful in September. So she asked me to take this wheelchair challenge and employee appreciation events that I did to every town in the Peace region. So that's what I'll be doing. I was just approached by Ishka from Northern East Accessibility Committee and was asked to help them work on projects that our partnership bring on, and that will be doing where she wants me to go out in the communities where there's community councils and go present, because they want to do a wheelchair challenge and a white cane thing at the end of May for the Wheelchair Accessibility Week. So I'm doing a lot of projects, so I just got asked to partnership with Northern Eastern Accessibility Committee just 2 days ago, so I'm gung ho. So I would like to do the wheelchair challenge and have you guys in Pouce as dignitaries to go around and see how it's not accessible for people in wheelchairs to get around Pouce Coupe.
Okay, and what, is this a spring, summertime? kind of-
Well, I'm thinking of that I want to do it when the winter's gone.
Yeah.
And towards the spring, because when I get the wheelchairs, I get someone from my Rotary Club, and they get brought up from Prince George. So these wheelchairs that get brought up came up for the one Dawson, came up to Fort John in September. So I would like to do it in the spring, or maybe towards May, maybe even towards the end of May when that wheelchair accessibility week is. But I will need to pick a date and sometime. My date I want to do is probably what works for you what I want to do during the day.
Okay.
I want to get as much people we can get out here. You dignitaries, mayor, probably the MLA,
Yeah.
Larry Neufeld, try to get Bob Zimmerman out here. Big thing, go around in wheelchairs and get the media in there, and then you guys will see how it's not accessible. So I'm thinking towards the end of May, but I'm not sure right now.
And then do you map out a specific route, I'm assuming?
Well, from what I understand, with the man here, Duncan,
Yeah.
that we talked about, he was suggesting going down just the main downtown area here, but what we did before is we had to go around everywhere in town and try and get around on sidewalks and everything, driveways, and see how it's not accessible, and try and get into your buildings here, and try and get in there and see if they're accessible to open.
Yeah, because what we could always do is we could do this downtown area, but I know the previous mayor and council put in a really beautiful sidewalk leading to the school.
Yeah.
So we could always go to the school as well and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually
Just-
test out our crosswalks and see how.
Yeah, we
they
could test
work.
out our crosswalks.
And one thing I'm told, not very accessible over here near the Husky there, getting people across. And now we have truck people, that would be a good place to try and get across
Yeah.
in the wheelchairs with traffic coming and all this kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah, no, I was kind of thinking the same thing. We could cross at one of our crosswalks. And then I said the previous mayor and council built a beautiful
So,
sidewalk.
when would you like to see it happen, a date?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely thinking that spring is the best. During the spring, we do have the NCLGA conference. That's the one thing. That's in May, if I remember correctly. Or is it March? No, April. Okay, so April, I know we have a week where some of us aren't gonna be here, but if you kind of planned it for May.
Oh, forgive me, May
It is
20
May.
to 22.
Oh, so it's May when you're gone, so.
Yeah, so if we planned it for either April or June,
Okay.
that would probably be the best. June does get a little bit crazy for us just because we work really closely with our school. We have a legacy art project that we do, and then we normally have a big volunteers barbecue whenever we can. So April would probably be preferred.
What date do you prefer in April?
Probably closer to the end.
Yeah,
Okay.
Easter is it?
Yeah,
Well,
we do.
and then if it's closer to the end, maybe.
Well, it would be good to do it during the week, not the weekend.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So.
And I wanna make sure that all you guys, even
Yeah.
all your council are gonna be here.
Well, the next thing is that Mr. Wilkinson's really, really good at getting us all to do doodle polls on dates. So what we'll do is we'll have you do up a poll, and then you can give a confirmed date to Mr. Johnson there.
Perfect.
So
Alright.
then, if we're, so then with this, I love how you're talking about the MLA coming out. Is this normally something that's like an hour long, or just to kind of give us a bit of
It's an hour long, and then the media comes, and you just try and wheelchair, and then you try and get into buildings. Try and get into a door that doesn't have a press wheelchair button or anything like that. And then you see how it's not accessible. Then my hope is, once you realize this is not accessible, you'll make the adjustments to make your business here accessible, your sidewalks, your playgrounds, everything.
Okay, perfect. Is this something we could also see if some of our volunteer firefighters?
Yes, anybody can take part, but
Yeah.
mainly, volunteers, firefighters,
Yeah.
even teachers, but mayors, city council, all that makes it look good.
I really like the idea of some of our volunteer guys doing it too. They're our first responders in the community, so yeah, I think that would be really, really cool for them as well. Okay, do you guys have any questions?
No, that sounds good.
It sounds really, really, really great. So yeah, Mr. Malkinson will coordinate a date. It's like herding cats for him, but he figures it out. And then we'll get back to you and plan it out, and I'm looking forward to it. I saw it last year happen in Dawson. I thought it looked really, really
Well,
cool.
yeah, because I brought up my mom.
Yeah.
My mom here, I brought up, there's no point for putting a wheelchair challenge out here, but you know.
You know what? We're totally down.
With the Northeastern Committee, where they have reps from all the regions, they're all gung ho doing the wheelchair accessible week at the end of May, and having mayors go around in wheelchairs and canes then too. So there you go. But I already told the lady from the president of Urban Systems that is chair of the Northeastern for Vancouver that I was coming out here today to present the idea about the wheelchair challenge.
No, I love it. It sounds awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come and see us.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have a safe drive.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I think it's a great opportunity, especially to highlight, the accessibility challenge that we already know we have with our intersections, and actually be able to highlight that.
Yeah.
Potentially get that on video and send that to the ministry to help advocate.
Wouldn't that be
for
handy?
accessibility within our community, right?
Oh, and another thing, I did give a lot of support for the playground out here.
Thank you.
Duncan, and he forwarded to like
Our
Brick
grant.
Hansen Foundation or the thing for the Royal Bank thing. So I did give
Wonderful.
a letter of support for them.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Take care.
Yeah, okay, so we'll keep that in mind when we're doing our counselor reports. Make sure to make a recommendation for staff to work closely with David Johnson of the Community Living BC. Okay, so keep that in your minds. All right. No unfinished business or business arising from the minutes, so moving on to new business, 9.1. You want to read that one?
Recommendation, or Chief Electoral Officer appointment. Recommendation that council appoints Duncan Melkinson as the Chief Electoral Officer and Pauline Lehman as the Deputy Election Officer for the 2026 election, their general election.
Okay, can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Johnston, thank you. Any discussion? This was kind of put in front of us a couple meetings ago where it kind of outlined like how much the pay is and what the expectations are. So this is just the official appointment of that. Okay. And has Miss Laidman done this before?
Yeah, she was the,
Why did I think it was Miss Green? Totally thought it was.
Because Ms. Lehman helped with the last election because we brought somebody from out of town for that one, and I believe she helped with one before that with the Stokes.
Okay. And then with the appointment of this, is there any like training or updated training that comes with it generally?
There is a course that the LGMA, Local Government Management Association, puts out for folks to partake in. I've joined in on it, and we'll be over the next couple of months. We'll start dedicating probably once a week, and then eventually multiple times a week to work in the plan, working it over and over again to make sure that we're all ready to go.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions, comments? I'm gonna call the question then. All those in favor? And that's unanimous and carried. Okay. 9.2, recommend that council appoint Ms. Cassandra Labounty to the Pouskibby Public Library Board. Seconded by Councillor Whittle. Any discussion? I'm glad to see that somebody stepped up.
Yeah.
So I think this puts them at 4 members now, so a little bit over that quorum, yes, thank goodness.
It's a little bit higher, your worship. Obviously, if there are other folks that are interested in joining, we'd be very happy to do another staff report, get them more stocked up.
Did we put anything out in the Village Voice by chance?
We did, yeah.
We did, yeah, okay. We might have to, one year we actually did like a really large volunteer call out where it was like a volunteer sheet that had all the local nonprofit boards attached to it. And then we basically attached like a general sign-up sheet that people could just fill out and drop off.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, that's not bad, because even
Yeah.
the museum's looking for some
Yeah.
young, to get some more, some young.
We
people
did that
in.
in 2022 and we actually saw a little bit of success from it.
Mhm.
And so,
Once you pass this Your
Yeah.
Worship. I think that would be a great motion for me to take back and
Okay, perfect.
kick butt on.
Okay, well, any questions regarding this appointment? I'm gonna call the question then, all those in favor? That's unanimous and carried. I'd like to also make the recommendation that staff work on a general volunteer call-out for all the nonprofits in the community, and put it in all the mailboxes in Coos. That's seconded by Councillor Johnston, thank you. Discussion?
I know that this would be of quite help to a few organizations that have been touching base with us recently. Councillor Woodall speaks about it. There's been a few others that we've spoken to through the grant writing program that could definitely use some secession, so this will be helpful.
Perfect, yeah, we'll just do one big general
Yeah, the
call-out.
only other thing to put on there is, because I know there's some things where you have to be a Pooskoopi resident and some things you don't. So it would be something like the library, for instance, because of
You have
the
to.
way that is, right? So it might just be something to put in there, open to village residents only, open to everybody or regional.
Yeah.
Because I know we have people that live close to Poos that wanna help out, volunteer within the community as well, so.
I'll make a note of that.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna call the question then, all those in favor? And that's unanimous and carried, wonderful. Okay, recommendation 9.3, that council receive the 2026 grant request and budget submission from the Pooskoopi Municipal Public Library, for discussion. Okay, seconded by Councillor Woodall, thank you.
How much are they asking for?
Well, I do have a couple of questions regarding this, Mr. Melkinson, that I was struggling to understand, and maybe you might know a little bit better. So, when I go through the overall larger sheet, I noticed that so these actuals are from October. I absolutely understand that, and this is the issue we tend to run into, because there is that 4-month period where they get nothing. But even here, so in 2025, they asked for 126,000 is what they spent for the year under their actuals. And they're asking for 130 this year. They'd spent 109, and then they still have 29,000 in the bank, or, well, I guess that was as of October.
Yes, Your Worship, that's as of October, and
Okay.
their total request this year is, if I'm reading this correctly, contribution from the village of Pooskoopi on the revenue line.
Is
for the budget.
87.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So 87.
So it's about a $30,000 increase from last year, but it's not really a $30,000 increase, because we're topping them up.
Because
Yeah.
remember a couple of years ago, we made
Yeah.
a motion that we topped them up to.
Yes,
whatever
up
that
to.
number was, so if they didn't spend their funds, then we topped them up to. Now,
Yes.
what was budgeted, like, in our,
That's what I was about to ask, what was our overall budget?
I think we carried forward I think we had the full amount that was included in here, like 90. I can't say with 100% confidence. I'd have to confirm with Josh, but the conversation with some of the folks in admin there, my understanding is that they incorporated this request into the budget.
So, okay, so they already knew going forward that, okay,
This was forwarded to them like a few months back.
okay. Okay, no, I just wanted to make sure that we had budgeted for it, and I just wanted to let the public know that they do go through a 4-month period when they don't technically get anything, and then that's when they're often trying to figure it out, so. Okay, alright. Any other questions regarding the library and board budget? Have you heard if they've gotten anybody yet?
Don't believe they have.
No? Do you want me to make a recommendation? I want you to reach out to them and find out how it's going. I am having residents call me, so.
Yeah.
And I don't really know either.
And that's just with the position that.
Yeah, well, because originally it was closed for the month of January, now it's closed for the month of February as well.
Right.
So I did have a few people reach out to me and saying like, when is this gonna open? I know that they had said they were doing interviews,
Sure.
but I haven't heard if anything more has come from that, so.
I don't have any updates on that front.
No,
Yeah.
me neither.
We did get a note from them a couple of weeks ago, just basically with a holding pattern, didn't
Yeah.
really commit to a timeline on reopening. If you guys want me to go get a timeline on reopening, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, so why don't we go through this, and then I think I'm gonna make that recommendation that you engage with them.
Sure.
I have a couple of things I wanna throw into it. Okay, so, hang on, all those in favor of receiving for discussion, we gotta do this, thank you. I'd like to make the recommendation that council grant, the Pooskoopi Public Library a budget submission for the total of, their ask for 2026, for the inclusion in the village's financial plan. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Johnston. Any discussion? All those in favor? That's unanimous and carried. Thank you. I'd like to make a further recommendation that staff reach out to the Pouce Coupe Public Library and ask them how their search has gone to replace their library director. I'd like a timeline on reopening. I'm just thinking, hang on. Timeline and connecting, I think that should do for now, depending on how that conversation goes, but I am hopeful that we can see them open by March, is sort of what I'm pushing for. Because if not, then they're gonna need a bit of a budget amendment. They're not gonna need as much money, right? So it's kind of one of those. Okay, can I get a seconder on this? Thank you, Councillor Johnston, as I'm babbling on. Any questions or comments regarding the recommendation? I'm gonna call the question then. All those in favor? And that one's unanimous and carried. Thank you very much, gentlemen. All right, item number 10, resolutions. 10.1 NCLGA, recommend that council receive the report regarding the NCLGA resolutions for discussion to come up with some topics. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Johnston. You holding off? You're not feeling it?
Nothing for this one, actually, in all honesty. I was gonna suggest that we look at putting this on hold until we have the other two gentlemen here, because chances are because they get much more into depth than I, in all honesty, than what I do on this NCLGA resolutions.
Okay.
And the chances are they have some good ideas.
Do we have time to table it?
I think the deadline, again, my memory isn't perfect, I think the deadline's March 12th.
Okay, so it's fine.
You do have.
It'd be a bit of a rush for you guys.
Well,
but-
could we potentially just move it over? I know we have a special meeting on Friday.
Yeah.
If we have quorum on Friday and the gentlemen are here, could we move it to our meeting on Friday?
Oh, you sure could. You will have time here, I'm just looking, so 2nd and 4th, February 25th, this could come back. And if the deadline is Friday, February 13th, then that means that you'll have 2 meetings between now and the deadline.
Make a motion that we table 10.1 to a future meeting date for staff to bring back to us when appropriate.
Can I get a seconder on that? Seconded by Councillor Johnston. Discussion regarding tabling? This will actually give us more
Well,
time.
it gives us more time to actually go through it, and then I know the other two gentlemen, they're always quite adamant about what resolutions that they want to see.
I'm gonna look at what the PRD's been doing as well. I meant to do that last night, but of course.
And this was the intent, we just wanted to make sure that this was on your guys' radar, because usually this takes a couple of renditions back and forth anyway, so.
All right, I'm gonna call the question then. All those in favor of tabling? That's unanimous and carried. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, either the 25th or the only thing is I'm not gonna be here on the 25th meeting. I hate to say that, but golly gee. Okay. 11, correspondence. Does anybody want to lift anything in particular?
11.3, I think we've got that passed.
Yep. Okay, anything else? Oh, I wanted to lift 11.5.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that too.
Councilor Johnson, anything particular you want?
Nope, that sounds good to me.
Okay, I make the recommendation that items 11.1, 11.2, and 11.4 be received for information. Seconded by Councilor Whittle. Discussion. All those in favor? That's unanimous and carried. If you'd like to talk on 11.3, Councilor Whittle?
Let me actually pull it up here.
We normally go purple, right?
0.3, yeah, it's purple, and I believe, let me find it so I'm not talking out of my butt, but I'm pretty sure that it usually comes with an ask about turning our lights purple.
That's correct.
Yeah, so yeah, they're asking that March 26th, but we turn our lights purple in support of epilepsy in BC.
Would you like to make that recommendation?
So yeah, I'll make the recommendation that we turn our lights purple for March 26th, 2026, in support of epilepsy.
That's seconded by Councilor Johnston. Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor? And that's unanimous and carried. Thank you very much, gentlemen. You're welcome.
Again, I just
saw it. That's why I was like, I just saw it.
Oh, 11.5 got right here.
All right, so This is, you guys have kind of heard me talk about some of this cross-border stuff that has been coming up. So the regional board is, this is one of the biggest things that is kind of on their radar. The Moscow Clinic has come to us multiple times at the Peace River Regional District Board. They have a fantastic clinic. It's going to be a clinic / teaching, not really a school, but like a teaching clinic. And they're even willing to offer spots specifically to students from the Peace River Regional District to go in. There's going to be a specialist clinic out of there. But the problem is that because we're in BC and they're in Alberta, the PRRD isn't really able to fully support the Mascot Clinic because our residents wouldn't actually be able to use it. Now, they've received millions of dollars in private funding. Secured Energy actually is one of the largest supporters. They've given hundreds of thousands, I think close to $1 million. So they are requesting, are they just requesting a letter of support? What is it? I can't tell you.
It's a little bit vague. It says.
It is, that's why I was kind of
the
stuck
letter be
on.
copied to all RD member municipalities and the Moscow Medical Center. I think I would interpret from that they're hoping for medical support because, a letter of support because the RD board is sending a letter to the Ministry of Health.
Yes, okay.
I'm happy to draft a letter if that's the resolution.
Okay, so I would like to make the recommendation that staff draft a letter of support regarding the Moscow Medical Center out of Grand Prairie and a request for cross-border medical services. So it's kind of two. So if it could be in support of the clinic that's being built and the access that it would then allow to residents, that would be fantastic. Can I get a second on that? Seconded by Councillor Woodall. Before we move on from that, maybe cross-border medical care is something we could bring up at the NCLGA. Just thinking for that date.
Yeah, something to look into.
Yeah, it's probably been brought to NCLJ about
Because
a
I know we
dozen
do have
times.
residents like who will go over to Alberta because it's, you know,
Well, Abby used to.
with
And
services
then we
and
got
stuff.
kicked
Well,
out.
and then even when Dawson's on diversion and stuff like that, like they're building a new hospital in Beaver Lodge, like they're.
Yeah, maybe that's not, I bet you that's been to NCLJ about 7,000 times, but, you know, keep
Well,
kicking the can.
When we get so many people that are cross-border, they work in Alberta, they live in BC, or they live
We're
in BC.
10
work
minutes
in
away, it
Alberta,
makes the
right?
most
So,
sense.
yeah, it makes sense, like I.
Okay. Can you make a note of that to NCLJ? Thank you, I appreciate you. All right, all those in favor of the letter of support? Okay, and that is unanimous and carried, thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 12. Councillor Johnston, do you want to read the bylaw?
Recommend that council give the first reading to the election and assent voting bylaw number 1088, 2026.
Okay, seconded by Councillor Woodall. Discussion? All those in favor? And that's unanimous and carried.
Recommend that council give the second reading to the election and assessed voting bylaw number 1088, 2026.
Seconded by Councillor Woodall. Discussion? All those in favor?
Recommend that council give the third reading to the election and assent voting bylaw number 1088, 2026.
Seconded by Councillor Woodall. Discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous and carried. Wonderful, thank you. Okay, any particular thing you guys want to lift off Public Works or the Fire Department, or are you good if we just receive them? They look great, you're doing a phenomenal job as always. I'd like to move that we move item 13.1 and 13.2 to receive for information. I seconder, Councillor Woodall. Okay, just for that, you're so funny. Just for that, I would like to say a huge thank you to our Public Works Department and our Fire Department. Again, like we are such a fortunate community. We have a great group of volunteers and guys working for us, and it's been busy, really. The snow is just, between the snow and the ice, they've been working non-stop. So thank you for the report. It's very informative. If the public would like to see it, it's in the agenda and give you an idea of all the work that they've been up to. Right, all those in favor of receiving for information? Unanimous and carried. All right, recommend that council receive the CAO report for information. Yeah, I know, so can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Woodall. All right, off you go.
Oh, Mr. Melvinson, do the spiel first.
Oh, yes, give us,
Maybe you'll answer my question
give
before I
us
ask
the
it.
spiel, Duncan.
Sure, yep, I sometimes request for time, so no, I'm happy to go through it. Continued a little bit of election prep in January, just hoping to be ready to go for the fall, and make sure that nothing's nipping us. There's the recent open house, there's the upcoming open house prep that we're doing for the financial plan here towards the end of the month. A little bit of policy review work that's continuing under Jimmy's capable hands. We've had a good review of some of the softwares that we have at the village recently, so we're currently looking at that, and hopefully we can move that forward. NG 911 is continuing. Council reviewed a grant for the NG 911 program pretty recently, and we're proceeding with an application for some hardware for the fire department and a little bit of GIS support. A little bit of work on the Family Day event that's going on Saturday, and I was happy to join in a museum meeting with Councillor Woodall recently. Not crazy for development right now, but we do have one DVP that's in process and another one that's temporarily on hold. And what else do we have here? Trying not to just read from the report. Revitalization tax exemption has been positive. We've had some internal reviews over the last couple of days, basically, and I think we're approaching a final draft right now. So we're pretty darn close to getting something that we think is what council wanted to see on that. And what else do we have here? Meeting with MOTT on Friday. There was an outreach from MOTT to talk about maintenance partnerships, historical maintenance partnerships. I've been non-committal so far, but we're interested in talking about that and pedestrian safety improvements on the road. They've, like I said, been non-committal and said maybe that they will have an update on council's request for highway improvements at that meeting. Carlin Road, there's been some conversation with CN about trying to improve or fix up some of the issues that we have on Carlin Road, and that's particularly just the rail intersection that's there. There's a couple of options that we're mulling given how long it's been taking, but we did get some meaningful replies out of CN recently, so hopefully that can spur some activity. Fire hall feasibility study got kicked off within the last couple of weeks, so we're just doing the initial document exchanges, and we have a project charter figured on that. And as we're trying to time the renewal and potential expansions for the seniors program, we're basically eyeing the grant cycle that's necessary, probably early April, and we'll be reaching out to Spickers and the Dawson Creek Society for Community Living prior to that.
Did they mention anything about collaborating on transportation? I know when I had spoken before, it was with Kendrick Kiss of Northern Health from the seniors that they had a bus up there, but then that conversation sort of fell off. You think you'd have better luck with Ann at Spickers, hey?
I think it's, it depends what kind of program configuration would be wanted.
Okay.
Like we talked in concept with United Way a couple of months back about how they made things work.
In Fraser Lake,
Yeah, and that didn't necessarily imply to me that the partnerships that we have on the seniors home program will necessarily be in play if we wanted to design something that was going to work well for Coos as an add-on to the program. But it doesn't mean that we can't utilize that existing partnership either. So little preliminary, but yeah.
I like it. It's good. Thank you.
Village Office Park, we're trying to confirm some of the, or proceed with some of the grant applications that have previously been authorized by council. And we're hoping to present to council with hopefully everything kind of summarized in the coming weeks here. We had a good meeting today with contact that's been helping us in the design of the park to make sure that there weren't, implementation risks. That, questions basically that we would expect to hear from council. So hopefully when we get answers to that, get pen to paper, we can move forward with that. And yeah, grant writing's been pretty active lately, so.
And then we got approved for our grant writing grant.
We did, yeah.
We did, just found out yesterday.
Yeah, that's right.
Very exciting, so big thank you to NDIQ for another year of supporting our grant writer activities, and hopefully, I know Mr. Ackerman will begin reaching out to all of our nonprofits. I work very, very closely with him at the food bank, so,
Yeah.
and he is phenomenal.
Yeah.
All right, you had a question, did he cover it?
No, but I'll ask offline, cause I don't know if it's quite gonna be,
Okay.
public knowledge.
No worries. We're gonna move, so all those in favor of receiving for information? That's unanimous and carried. Councillor Johnston, what you been up to?
Besides our workshop we had here the other week, I've taken on to my side, I've been busy doing that, but other than that, not going.
Not bad, though. But maybe take those cute little girls of yours out for somewhere fancy in the summer with all that extra money making. All right, Councillor Rabble is away with notice. Councillor Ball's away with notice. Councillor Whittle, what you been up to?
Since the last meeting, I don't think I've really done much. No, yeah, haven't really done much. Mine's kind of a blur. Spent
At
the
the workshop.
we had a workshop. Yeah, no, I spent the day up in Tumblr Ridge with some family friends. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I still your thunder on the museum.
yeah. Well, got that covered. Other than that, I know we do have another museum meeting coming up later this month. I believe next Thursday. So yeah. And the big thing is that came up is we are working with them on looking at locations where we can put the LED light sign and looking at different ideas for that, and some grant opportunities for that. And then one of the things that did come up with the museum board the other night was that they are looking to get more younger people. They joke that the majority of them are now in the 80s club or pretty close to it. So
Somebody needs to go get all that
knowledge
wisdom from them.
Oh, that's the thing, a great wealth of knowledge and history of the area within that room. So it'd be nice to see some younger members of the community get involved, and or people from within the region, because I know we've got some members on that board from Dawson and that former members used to live in Moose. So it'd be nice to be able to pass that knowledge on to the next generation, right? So yeah, so they're working forward with that. And yeah, I got the seniors as well. I've reached out to them, but I'm happy to reach out again. Haven't heard anything back on that. And then I reached out to the RCMP, actually it's last week, or 2 weeks ago now. I guess to meet up with Rob, we're just going to play, or the Ashland Commander, we're just kind of playing telephone tag, just schedule versus my schedule. So I'm going to meet up with them eventually, but right now they've got some other priorities. So yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, just reminded me. All right, thank you. I've been, attended the workshop that we had here regarding zoning, which is really, really well done. I think that it was a fantastic job, and a big thank you to staff and Urban Systems for coming out and making that so informative and constructive for all of us. We're working with staff closely planning the Family Day event, which is happening this weekend. I'll probably put out a reminder. I don't know if tomorrow's the best day, but maybe Friday. People about the Family Day event. I think that even now, in the wake of things, that time of family and community is extremely important. And I think that this could be offering events for that is another highlight of that. So I'm working closely with staff, on the budget. I don't know, I've been doing all kinds of things. Yeah. I have a lot going on. Yeah, so super, super busy, but it's been looking good. I'm going to start reaching out. So you reminded me of, we have a new president for the Pooskippi Seniors Board, so I need to reach out to them and just connect, see if there's any way that we can support them. So I look forward to doing that.
Look, okay to do that since.
Well, yes, I visit every every couple of months. I
Jimmy,
go to the road.
sorry to interrupt. One stop, I guess. The contact information that I got a couple weeks back, is that the current president or is that the past president?
I believe it was. Let me check.
Did we give you those?
Yeah, I Joe and.
Mr. Merrick?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's no longer.
I can't remember now. It's in my emails.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we will make sure
Just make
by,
sure, yeah, then I can reach out to them and
sounds good?
I'm sure when at my next, museum meeting, I can just ask who it is and they'll be able, most of them will be able to point me in the right direction.
I've met her, she introduced herself to me recently, but, yeah.
Okay. Alright, well, thank you. Alright, so moving on, I'd like to recommend that council move into a closed meeting pursuant to section 91B, 91C, and 91K of the community charter. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councilor Woodall. Discussion? All those in favor? And that is unanimous and carried. Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy.
You'll see it.
Yeah, it's in the new one. Yeah.